Hi guys, today we are going to be talking about the cinema and films, okay? Now, before we start the lesson, hopefully you all have this worksheet, okay, about the cinema. You're going to need this for this lesson. If you don't have it, contact me and I can send it to you, okay? So let's start by thinking about films, alright? I'm going to ask you a few questions and I'd like you to try and think of a film, okay? So first of all, can you think of a film which made you laugh a lot? Okay, can you think of a film which made you cry? Can you think of a film which sent you to sleep? Can you think of a film which made you feel good? And can you think of a film which you've seen several times? Okay. Now for me, a film which made me laugh a lot was Step Brothers. I love Will Ferrell. If he's in it, I think it's funny. Number two, a film which made you cry. I cry at all films, whether they're happy, sad, exciting, funny, it doesn't matter. I cry at everything. I'm very emotional. A film that sent you to sleep? I can't think of a film off the top of my head. How about you? A film that made me feel good was recently I watched Frozen 2 with the kids and it really made me feel good. Olaf is just such a wonderful character. And finally, a film you've seen several times. Well, my favourite film is The Sound of Music and I can't tell you how many times I've seen it. It's the best. Okay, so let's move on to the worksheet. Okay. We're going to start with exercise 1, which is all the types of films which we have. Okay. Now we have action film, comedy, horror film, musical, science fiction, thriller, and western. Okay. So you'll notice on your paper, here you have the names and here are the pictures. Very simple. Can you match the pictures to the type of films? All right. Also, can you think of one other film for each of the kind of film? All right. Now, because we're having to do this over video, if you pause the video now, when you finish the exercise, press play and I'll go through the answers. Okay. Good luck and pause now. Okay, did you finish? Good, nice and easy. So, first of all then, the action film is number 2. The comedy film is number 6. The horror film is number 4. The musical is number 3. The science fiction film is number 7. The thriller is number 5 and the western is number 1. Did you think of some other films for these kinds? I did. So for an action film I thought of Black Panther. For a comedy, Step Brothers again. For a horror film, It. For a musical, The Sound of Music, of course. Science fiction, The Fifth Element. A thriller, a suspense film, Eye in the Sky. And a western, The Good, the Bad and the Ugly. Did you have the same films as me or something different? Okay, now out of these different kinds of films, which ones do you like and not like? For me, I really enjoy action films, comedy films, musicals, thrillers, and some science fiction films, but not all of them. I really don't like horror films, and westerns, I think, are okay. What about you? Which ones do you like and which ones do you not like? So moving on then to exercise 2, some vocabulary related to cinema. Okay. You'll have a look at number 1, 3 and 4 have already been completed for you. So in number 1, all the people who act in a film are the cast. Okay. Number 3, the person who makes the film, the person who is in charge, the person responsible is the director. And number 4, the music of a film is the soundtrack. Alright? So now I'd like you to look at the other vocabulary and match it with the correct definitions. Okay? What do you think? Again, press pause, and when you finish, press play again, and I'll go through the answers. Okay? Press pause now. Alright, are you back? Let's go through the answers then. So, number 1 we know was cast. Number 2, the most important actor or actress in a film is, of course, the star. Number 5 then, the story of a film is the plot. Okay? Not only of a film, but also of a book. The story is the plot. Number 6, a part of a film happening in one place is a scene. At the end of the scene, it moves to a different place for a new scene. Number 7 then, the people who watch a film in a cinema is the audience. Be careful with the pronunciation. Okay? Audience. Number 8, a film which continues the story of an earlier film is a sequel. Can you think of any films which have sequels? Good. What about Star Wars, for example? Okay. Nowadays, we also have films called prequels, which are films which come before the original film. Number 9 then, special effects are the images which are often created by computers. Nowadays, so much is done by computers. Number 10, the words of the film are the script. Number 11, the person in a film who has a small, unimportant part, for example, in a crowd scene, so they're definitely not the star. No, they are an extra. Okay, it's a noun. It describes the person, what they, the job that they have. And finally, number 12 then, the translation of the dialogue, the words of a film into another language, is the subtitles. Okay, remember the subtitles are what you see at the bottom of the screen. I don't have subtitles for this video. And dubbed is when they change what somebody's saying from one language to another. Okay, I don't think this video will get dubbed into any other languages. Alright? So, how did you do? Everything correct? Of course. So let's look at number 3 then. Verbs and phrases which are related to the cinema. Okay. So, first of all, we have 6 sentences using some expressions related to the cinema. And we also have A to F, which tells you what it means. So, easy peasy, can you match the expressions with what they mean? Again, pause the video, and when you finish the exercise, press play, and we'll go through the answers. Okay, so pause now. Alright, you're back, nice and easy? Good, then let's have a look at the answers. So the first one, the film was set in 19th century Italy and England. This one is, it was situated in that place at that time. So the setting can refer to the place or the time. Okay. Number 2 then, it was based on a novel by E.M. Forster. Okay, means it was an adaptation of a book. So it was a book first and then it became a film. Number 3, it was filmed on location in Florence, or it was shot on location in Florence, the meaning's the same. Is F, it was filmed in the real place, not in a studio. Okay. Number 4, it was directed by James Ivory. Fairly simple, James Ivory was the director. Number 5, Helena Bonham Carter played the part of Lucy. This one is C, it was her role in the film, it was her character. Okay, for example, Daniel Radcliffe played the part of Harry Potter. And finally, number 6 then, it was dubbed into other languages, goes with D. The actors originally spoke in English, but when you watch the film, they're speaking in a different language. Fairly simple? Yeah. So let's have a practice with some of these sentences. Okay? I have here the sentences written out, but for the film, Little Women. Okay? Little Women that came out recently. So, we have the expressions here. The film was set in. It was based on a novel by. It was shot on location in. It was directed by and played the part of Meg. Now you have to do some work. So I'd like you to pause the video, go onto Google, use your phones. Can you find out the correct information to complete the 5 sentences? Okay? Again, pause the video, go find the information, and when you have it and you've completed the sentences, press play. Okay? Good luck, go for it. Right, have you finished? Yeah, so let's go then. The film was set in, well, it was set in the USA. And when was it? It was after the Civil War. Good. After the Civil War. So the film was set in the USA after the Civil War. Number 2, it was based on a novel by, I'm sure everybody got this one, Louisa May Alcott. Louisa May Alcott. Perfect. Number 3, it was shot on location in, good, it was all filmed in Massachusetts. I have to check my spelling of this. M-A-S-S. Massachusetts. Yeah, most of it was actually filmed in Concord, where the film is set. They also used some towns that were nearby as well, but everything in Massachusetts. It was directed by Greta Gerwig. Good. Greta Gerwig. And finally, who played the part of Meg? Got it. Emma Watson. I love Emma Watson. I think she's amazing. Okay. So, now we've had a look at some different vocabulary. Okay. All related to film and cinema. Now, we're going to have a look at writing a review of a film. Okay. Which is what I would like you to do for me. Alright. So, what do we put in a review for a film? Let's use the other part of the board and go through. We're going to start, obviously, with our title. Which film are you going to write a review about? You can write it about any film that you like. From Star Wars to Little Women to Harry Potter to It. I don't mind. Okay? The first paragraph is going to be your introduction. Okay? Now, what do we include in an introduction? Well, the introduction is the facts. Okay? the film. For example, is it based on a book? Like Little Women is. Where is it set? Who's the director? Okay, and also, what type of film is it? Fairly easy, yes? So the introduction is the facts about the film. Now what about in paragraph 2? Paragraph 2 is a summary of the plot. Remember, the plot is the story of the film. Don't tell me the ending of the film, okay? A review should give me enough information to make me want to go and see the film. If I know the ending, I don't want to watch it. Okay? So, tell me about the characters and what happens to them. Okay? In paragraph 3, thinking more about the creative elements. Okay, so think about the costumes, the cinematography, okay, sound effects, the special effects, okay. So look at the difference between the two. This is all about the story, the fiction. This is all about the factual parts, okay? How they made the story, all right? And finally, in paragraph 4, is your recommendation, okay? Would you recommend the film or not? Who would you recommend the film for? Is it for families? Is it for a romantic evening with your partner? Is it for, no, a group of teenagers on a Saturday night? Who would you recommend it for and why? Okay. Now, really important when we do reviews is the language that we're going to use. Okay. So, first of all, we obviously want to use some of the vocabulary and expressions from the worksheet. Okay, these are specific to the cinema, really useful for our reviews. Okay, also I'm looking for some good adjectives and adverbs. Okay, think about it's stunning, incredibly exciting, it's surprisingly poor. Okay, I also want reasons for your opinions. Okay, if you think it's terrible, why? What's the reason for that? If you think the acting was excellent, why? Give me an example. Okay? And finally, you can mention something negative about the film. But if your review is in general positive, only mention one negative. If your review is in general negative, then mention one positive. Don't forget in your recommendation to say whether you recommend the film or not. Okay? So your homework is to write me a review of a film. Any film that you like. Alright? When you have written your review, email it to me. My email is on the school website. Okay? I'll correct it and send it back to you. Alright? And that is the end of this video lesson. See you soon. Bye!